I did not figure that out.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's just actually recording for the live stream, so we have to like use our voices in here, but this is actually for live streaming. So before we get started, I just want to welcome everyone. Thank you for coming out on a dreary, cold Wednesday morning. This is actually live streaming right now. We're recording it so we can post it on the 1 Million Cups site later. So anything that you don't catch during Kim's presentation today, you can actually go back and watch later. I'm going to introduce Ken right now to introduce Kim. But I just wanted to welcome everybody. Make sure you drink plenty of great coffee from Coffee Cabin. I'm going to go ahead and tee her up while you introduce Kim.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ken Gonzalez. I work for the Indiana Small Business Development Center, and I've had the fortunate experience of meeting Kim earlier this year in March. I saw her at the Big Sell down in Maryville, and she presented her idea that she's really put a lot of effort in since then to develop her business plan and more of her entrepreneurship. She was a winner there. I don't want to steal all her thunder. And I've seen her grow over since March, since we've been working together and learning about how to run a business. And I think she's an inventor, has a engineering mind, and I think that you'll enjoy her presentation, the journey that has got her to the Big Sell, and then from the Big Sell to today, and looking at some of her challenges and what her next steps are. So I guess without any further introduction, here is Kim from One Shot MC Shot. Thank you. Sorry. This, you got a button that you got to unbutton.
Go, please. Go ahead. It's part of the entertainment. Yes. A young man said to me one day, "Kim, you need to tell your story." I looked at him perplexed, and I was thinking, I don't have a story, but I have a product. I thought more about what he said, and I realized that he was right. I do have a story, and it started when I was a kid, where my parents couldn't afford to pay someone every time something broke. So at some point, they started letting me take things apart and put them back together. It is true, sometimes when you're all done, you do have extra parts. That led me to working on lawnmowers, mini bikes, snowmobiles, then motorcycles and jet skis, then automobiles for myself, friends, and for money. Then repairs on military equipment. Can you imagine how confusing it was when I went skydiving and had no engine to guide me or to work on? Don't worry, I landed like a brick on a pillow. A few years back, I was part of a conversation with a small group of men, each telling each other how to properly store small engines. One said to remove the spark plug, one said to spray WD-40 in it, one said leave the spark plug out, one said put a rag over it. None had the same process or knew what the proper fluid was or the amount to use. It was then that I realized that the leaf blower in my garage that needed repair was because I did not properly store it. So I began research where I learned about two common problems that result from not properly storing small gasoline engines. One is when people remove the spark plug, most people put a rag over the spark plug hole. A 2011 study found that 100% of the clean towels collected from 26 different facilities still contain particles that include grease, oil, and heavy metals. The problem is those particles deposit directly into the engine from that rag. This results in scratching, which is also called scoring, inside the engine by dragging those particles up and down, which create the scratches. Scoring then results in a power reduction because the engine no longer has a sealed chamber. Think of it like this. If you take a bottle of water and you don't completely close the lid, then you turn the water bottle over and it leaks all over the place. That's because the bottle is no longer sealed. The same thing happens in an engine. Here, when you score, it will cost you more. The average human cannot see particles smaller than 40 micrometers. A grain of salt is 60. The second problem is when an engine runs, the oil lubricates it. However, when the engine is sitting, nothing lubricates it. Then after removing the engine from storage, the metal rubs directly on metal, causing it to overheat, which most likely will score all metal parts involved and can cause the engine to seize up. Take your hands, open palm, rub them together. Faster. Can you feel the heat? Can you imagine two pieces of metal doing this? My desire to fix both of these problems in one device led me to invent the One-Shot Mix-Shot, easy to use, one-time use, disposable applicator made for most small engines that include lawnmowers, snow blowers, chainsaws, motorcycles, boats, etc. The name of my product includes my parents, who were Mike and Char. I solved both problems that I've mentioned. First, when removing the spark plug, insert the One-Shot Mix-Shot, and it will seal the engine chamber and be used simply as a plug to keep unwanted particles out. The second problem I solve is that the One-Shot Mix-Shot will spray a precisely measured 1 shot of proper lubricant every time. By coating the internal engine components, it prevents corrosion, displaces moisture, and lubricates to prevent scoring at startup. How you use this is simply by removing your spark plug, inserting the One-Shot Mix-Shot with the easy-to-use turn-by-hand threads, just a few turns to seat into the spark plug hole. Then if using as a plug, you're done. If using as a lubricant, then you can express fluid by doing one of two things. You can pull back on the grip or just push on the end of the can. The most common reasons that people do not properly store their small engine is because they don't know how. They don't know what fluid to use or the proper amount to use. Too much can cause additional problems that include a fire risk. Too little may have no effect. Our current estimate cost per unit is $1.10 and a profit of $1.90 with a retail price of $3 per unit. However, we only plan to package in lots of 3. We provide some census stats here. An estimated household average has 3 gasoline small engine products. If using before and after storage, that would equal only 6 per household per year. Let's take a look at this. If we were to target just 0.625% of the households, that equals 661,512 homes. Our estimated profit would be $7.5 million a year, with each household spending only $18 to take care of 3 small engine products. Another target market example is Honda, who produced just over 6 million engines in 2014. If we were to add just 2, that would equal 12 million units and offering the company 30%, leaving us an almost estimated 16 million. Channels we're hoping to start phase 1 with is partnerships with small engine manufacturers to carry in their product line with every new engine. We are currently in prototype phase. We are patent pending. The reason why you need this is because it will save you early equipment replacement costs and assist your product to perform without a power reduction. It is a low-cost maintenance solution for improved engine reliability. The One-Shot Mix-Shot, easy to turn by hand threads, makes it so simple that anyone can use it and everyone should use it. It puts simple small engine maintenance solutions in a one-shot, easy-to-use applicator that keeps harmful particles out, lubricates, and saves you money all in one shot. Would you spend $3 to save hundreds or even thousands? Questions? Did you have a question, sir? Okay, you sir?
Yeah, Tim, you talked about the cost of goods sold. What do you have in that number right now?
The question is, my cost of goods sold, what do I have in the number right now? I have different pieces with different manufacturers right now that I've been in talks with, and actually I believe I've overestimated. Originally, I was just talking with one engineer with a company in Indiana about cost and price, and he said to expect 85 cents, but I thought I'd go a little high with $1.10 because I really didn't know. Now we're actually putting it together, and it looks like it's going to be lower than $1.10.
I guess one of the things as an add-on to that, you want to consider, let's say you went on to TV marketing or you went to, guys at, PBC channel or something like that, if you're out there, maybe you need an allocation, a pretty large allocation because you're in a retail market in terms of, the dollars spent to go off and from a marketing standpoint, may cost you as much as actually producing the product.
Sounds like you're offering some services.
No, I don't have services. I'm just asking.
I'm working on all that. I'm also working on a pro forma. He didn't really have a question that time. He was just kind of giving me some information about in the future. And so we're working on the fine details right now. Thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Kim, how did you set your sales price at $3? This is kind of funny. I've had two electric gas lawnmowers that I broke them probably because of this very reason, right? Not storing them properly in the Chicago winter. And did you actually also look at, I noticed you didn't use a metric for cost of repairing the small engine. And so I'm wondering, how did you set up your sales price, and could you charge more? Because, for me, it was maybe $75 to get the lawnmower, engine repaired after storing it properly over the winter. And I would probably pay more than $3 to avoid a $75 cost.
His question is, how did I set the price at $3? And I set the price at $3 because they make the oil products are currently in the market. And what I did was I took those prices and broke them down into basically kind of like ounces that we're using. And this seemed to be what's the price in the market for this right now to expect. Now, you're right. We have some other pieces that we're adding and things that could make this more valuable. Maybe that's something we'll look at as we get closer to presenting it to the market. Currently, these are just estimates on what I expect, and I also want it to be a reasonable product. I mean, as you saw in my presentation, I've worked on engines all my life. The only reason why I worked on them is because my parents couldn't afford to have other people do them, or I would have just paid somebody else. So for the person like me who wants to learn, I want to make it affordable for people. And your other question was kind of together on the price. It's not going to cost us a whole lot of money to make each of these pieces, which I'm really thrilled about. I mean, there'll be the initial costs, which are the big costs. But after that, it just doesn't really cost a whole lot, is what we're expecting. So we're hoping. So did I answer your question? Okay. Debbie.
So, for someone that doesn't really know a lot about cars and motors and engines, how does getting your oil changed every 3 months, how does this tie in with that?
Debbie's question is, does this tie in with getting your oil changed every 3 months? And that actually is part of a tell on what he had said here. I did call some other shops about what they do. For example, when if you were to call them and have them come pick up your lawnmower and service it, what are they doing? What are they winterizing it? What are they doing? And I was floored to find out they're dumping out the oil and the gasoline and putting oil in it, that's all. And I said, that's all you're doing? And he said, yes. And I was like, oh. So that was, I think, a problem, because that's not fixing this problem. So you're still going to have this problem unless you do something like this. So I think it would be important also for me to educate maybe some of these service centers or let them try our product. And This is going to save you. Another lady had said that I presented at the IBSDC this to. Every couple years, she has to send her snowblower in, and it costs her $80 to have it serviced. She said she wants to do this. Every year, it'll cost her $6. Then she won't have to spend the $80 plus the hassle of picking it up and hauling it and back and forth. So I'm excited for her to try our product too. Did they answer your question, Debbie?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm buying the fixture that goes into the spark plug hole and the lubricant. Is that what I'm buying?
His question is, what is he buying? Yes, you're getting the one piece. It's the one shot mix shot. So it's the whole piece that you're getting. But this product was designed for two reasons, as I mentioned. One is I myself take spark plugs out for different reasons. They break, or I want to check them, or I want to clean them, or go buy a new one. So I take it out. What do you put in the hole? If you put nothing, it's the same thing as putting a rag over it and getting those deposits in there. So what do you use? You know, I think the only thing in the market is called a sill. And that sill, you have to tap it in there. Then when you get it out, you have to pry it out. So this takes care of that problem also. So it is an aerosol. I'm sorry, his question was, is it an aerosol? Yes, it's an aerosol.
And then that whole unit stays in there until we remove it.
Well, that's the nice thing of it. You can do a couple things. You can leave it in if you want, or you can take it out and put your spark plug back in. I mean, whatever you prefer. But since it also acts as a plug, you know, you'd certainly be welcome to leave it in as long as you want. Now, something else that we're working with right now, getting another CAD drawing and getting a prototype made, is we're also making a tool. In case that was one of your questions. We're making a tool for it for people who would have a hard time reaching in there with the fins. So the tool will slide over it too and seat it. Did that answer your question, sir? Okay. Yes, sir.
So back us up and those that don't work on small engines. Are all of the spark plug holes in the threads, is that a uniform size?
That's a very good question. Jim's question is, are all spark plug threads uniform size? The answer is no. In the United States, there's approximately 5 different sizes. 2 of them are rare, every now and then. Most of them are 3 sizes, and that's what, if you noticed our adapter, we have all 3 sizes on our adapter.
So it's got like an adjustable locking thing that will, I mean, in other words, explain how you would adapt to the different sizes. And the only reason I say this is, you know, whenever I'm working, it seems like, oh, Jesus, it's just a little bit off on the threads, and anybody who does any work, you gotta have the exact right thread, the exact right screw to put anything on an engine together, working on brakes or whatever. So how does that work?
Jim's question is, how does this work? How does this adapt to the engine sizes? Mont is backing this up for me so we can show you a picture, and that tells 1,000 words. And we'll go to our prototype patent pending CAD design here. Because of my animations, it's taking a little, there, right here. You see the, we just lost it, okay. Right here, you see the, did you see the, there's the maroon? Yeah, very quickly. Well, because it's timed, because it's on timing. But it's, see the maroon, the purple, and the green? Those are the 3 most common sizes that are used. So if you're using the middle size, the small size will just seat in. And then if you're on the last side, obviously those 2 will just slide down in, so you have the 3rd size.
So in any perceived marketing or future marketing, would you put that in there? Fits all standard lawnmowers?
His question is for future marketing, would I include that fits all standard? And of course, I mean, thank you for that. That's a good tip to make sure that we address that stronger. Questions? Eric.
Along the lines of taking it to market, like, where are you at in that process? Have you been able to start putting it in the hands of customers, or is that down after the time?
Eric's question is, are we ready to put it in hands of manufacturers and people yet? No, we're putting the pieces together. We're making sure they all fit. I'm working with a couple other companies doing the same thing. And so we're in the process of prototyping I would say, right now. And, hopefully, our first run or second run, all the pieces will fit, and then we'll be running to the market as soon as possible.
As a follow-up, are there, or have you done any like reselling or resales or like pre-order kind of approach to test some of that market, like the Rizal side or not?
Eric's question is, are we pre-selling to see if they fit? My answer to that is no. We're actually working with Mont and Purdue has offered to do some testing for us, and so that's how we're going to get our testing completed to make sure that we're doing all the right things at the right time. Did that answer your question? Yes, sir. That's a good question. The gentleman in the back asked, when do you spray the fluid? You screw in the unit, but when do you spray it? You spray it when you screw it in. And you spray it in two ways, by pulling back the tab or just pushing on the end of the can. And it's the one shot. So most people, I believe, are going to want to use this at least twice a year. So that's why you're going to need two. When you store it and then when you remove it from storage, because of how long that you store it. Some products you're going to store longer, so you may want to pull them out of storage and put another one of these in, give it another shot, and then either leave it in as a plug or remove it and put your plug back in. Did that answer your question? Okay. Yes, sir.
Why not leave it in all winter and spray the lubricant in spring just before you?
The question is, why not leave it in all winter, then spray in the spring? Because it's really important to put it in at that time because it displaces moisture as well. And that's really important because that's a problem. I'm sure that all of you have probably seen at one point or another rust on the engines. That's because of the moisture. So this is going to displace this. Well, you're going to get a package of 3, so use them how you want. But the most important thing is that it's going to displace moisture. And if you were to fire it up prior to then, it's going to have the lubricant in it so the parts move freely. Ken?
I know, Kim, that I challenged you on this, and maybe we can get some more feedback. How important is educating your target market?
Well, it depends on, I'm sorry, the question is, how important is it to educate my target market? As you saw in the presentation, that I've got several different target markets. There's going to be a couple of my target markets that are far more advanced than I am when it comes to engines and how they function and work. So I'm not going to have to explain very much to them. However, in a different market, like the retail market, I am going to have to make sure to educate people because I myself, as we mentioned, worked on engines my whole life and didn't know what the problem was with my leaf blower. Well, through research, I found out what the problem was. So I'm going to have to give that same information, to other people. A gentleman back here said that he had a problem with the lawnmower. This was probably his problem, but he didn't know it. So you're right. I'm going to have to do some sort of education, and that'll come along with it. Any other questions? Mary, any questions?
No, I agree with the education part. It's really helpful because I have several small engines at home, and I don't think I can fix one. I didn't even know if you guys do anything with them, so the education piece for someone like myself.
Excellent. Mont.
So I have a comment first. I wanted to just say I think you presented an awesome presentation today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So my question is kind of along the lines of Terry's and a few other folks. How are you structuring the company right now? Are you going to be just a sole proprietor? Are you trying to raise some capital?
Mont asked a very good question. He asked how I'm structuring the company right now, if I'm doing sole proprietor, raise capital. And currently, if somebody were to come up to me and offer me to write a check, I wouldn't know what to ask for. So until I know the amount to ask for, I'm not looking for that right now. I am doing a fundraiser. One of the questions for me to you is, what can the community do for me? And one of the things right now that the community can do for me is to support my fundraiser event. I am doing a beanbag tournament, and I'm working right now with the National Guard, and it looks like we're going to be doing it in Hammond. You can go on my website and buy tickets, and it's very exciting because somebody's going to win $10,000. Tickets are only $25 for a toss. So that's really exciting, and that's how the community can help me right now. And that's going to help me fundraise money that I plan to use for prototyping. There's an expo that I'd like to go to in Pittsburgh, and I'm going to need the money to finish the rest of my patent because we are patent pending. Yes, sir, in the back. His question is two parts. One is, are you going to see smoke on it, and can it be used for two-stroke and four-stroke? Yes, it is designed for two-stroke and four-stroke engines. Yes, it is going to create smoke, and that is a tip that I appreciate you giving me, because that is something for me to consider to make sure that the packaging does include, don't be frightened, it will have some smoke until it burns off. And it's only one shot. I mean, it's 0.143 ounces, so it won't take much to burn that off. Thank you for that. Any other questions? Concerns?
I have a little follow-up.
Sure.
And I understand you're trying to do this on your own, and I applaud that. I've been there. There's other people who have been there as well. I sometimes think that the fundraisers are a bit of a distraction, whereas you might be able to find an investor in this room or through your network of friends and colleagues. And I really encourage you to try to figure out that number, because it always benefits you to have some financial support. And instead of devoting time to a fundraiser that doesn't help your business other than just fund it, someone could write you a check. And I'd like to hear the thoughts of other people who are in business support or starting businesses in the room, just to get any kind of perspective on this. But that would be my opinion. And I guess there's not a question in there, but I just encourage you to find a number that you feel comfortable with. What part of the company are you willing to give up for X amount of money? We need to kind of find a valuation of the company right now. So I think you have a great idea. I think that the product is great, but that's what you have right now. You have a product, you don't have a company.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Maybe to help the audience and Kim and I, with your experience, could you just give us a brief overview of the layers of investment? Because I know there's angel investors, there's first round, second round.
Well, at the very, very beginning, they call it 3S, and I hate to say it because it's, and Jim, you've probably heard this 100 times, friends, families, and fools. These are the people who are going to rush in and give you money right away without really knowing what the structure is. And I honestly think you're beyond this. I think you could probably go out and find someone in a seed round or an accelerator that's willing to give you some money. I know Purdue's got multiple accelerators through the Purdue Research Foundation that you could apply to that would actually give you some startup money, that the money's there for you to finish your legal work, to develop your trademark. All that stuff that we all know costs a lot of money. So, and then of course, small business innovation research. I mean, we've been pounding this with people lately here. They give away $2 billion a year, every year in this country for small business innovation research. If we could find one of the departmental solicitations that could possibly fit this model, first round grants are generally $150,000, and they do not dilute your equity at all. You are still 100% owner if you get some of that funding. So I really think you should devote some time to that, to possibly applying for an accelerator. Maybe there is someone out there who's willing to be an angel investor right away, but I think that's the way you should look. I really think this is like the fundraisers and all the effort you put into it is really distracting you from like your goal. And you know, I'll apologize if I don't hear the same from other folks in the audience.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if the camera could see Mont, but Mont was, actually I'm very excited about what he said because he said that there's opportunities for me for funding, and so that's very exciting. And I certainly plan to take him up on that and find out where those places are and apply for them. So that's very exciting. Thank you very much. I will be following up with that.
It sounds overwhelming, right?
No, it sounds exciting. No, it sounds very exciting, yes.
And I think that gets back to like what, to the, I guess, overarching purpose of what we're doing here right now, and for people like you, and for this center that Mont is running, and I'm on the board, and some of the other people here are on the board, and that is that those resources should be in place for, you know, so as we go along, and someone like you comes in here, we'll be able to show you exactly what those avenues are. We have some of those inroads now, and I can show those, but I agree with Mont, you're ready to be funded. And that disconnect right now is an area where this center is supposed to help backfill some of those missing links.
Excellent. Thank you, Jim. That's very exciting. I mean, it's like, you know, you both of you are just explaining a step I need to take. And I guess it's just a matter of when, and I guess I didn't think I was ready until this, so it's very exciting. Thank you.
$1 billion essentially for a good startup, so.
Very good. Ha! Ha ha!
He's got really gray hair.
Ha! Really gray hair.
Why? So he would be a good resource to
Excellent.
and so forth. But I think I agree. You're ready to be funded.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that. I take that as compliment. Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. Louis, go ahead.
So just 2 points of advice, if you don't mind. One is your target market. You mentioned between commercial and residential. One advice would be just focus on one for now, because 2 different targets, you have to double everything, right? Double your value proposition, double your marketing, double what they're actually looking for. Which means you may have to over-design your product to meet both target markets. I understand commercial, you know, that may be against their best interest, right? To save some repair work, but they also do repair work. And then the other piece was, you mentioned working with folks on, I would say, serving, you know, that'd be a place where your time is better spent. So if you can find that number of investment dollars that you, as you mentioned, your raffle, are a good thing, but you're able to $10,000 in money raised no way. You know, so you're raising money for some lucky winner, right? $10,000 money. And so focus on figuring out your financials, not just the product development costs, but you know, your marketing and sales. What are you going to need to get this in the hands of the distribution channels?
This gentleman was giving me some advice and had said one of the things that I should consider is focusing on one target market. And you're right, and that's what I thought I had said that, but just to be sure, I mean, I know everything was all put together in 6 minutes. My target market that I want to start with is I do want to go to small engine manufacturers, and that's phase 1, and there's 6 of those right now that I think would be of the greatest benefit. So I'm currently getting the buyer information as we speak, actually. The other thing is that he also mentioned about maintenance. I had also done some research on the maintenance. They don't make, when you ruin your engine from scoring this, they don't make the bores anymore and the oversized pistons to put in there. So there's nothing you can do but buy a new one. So this prevents you from having to do that too early. Did that help? Thank you, sir. And thank you, sir. Yes, Ken.
What do you think, she wants to partner with 6 small engine manufacturers, Briggs and Stratton, Honda, to get that in the market. Do you believe that's a good strategy, to focus on that, to educate as you're receiving, you know, your new lawnmower, your new blower, whatever device that you're buying?
You know, off the, top of the head, I would think, you know, yes, you have a small number of companies, but, you know, your power relative to theirs, like, there's a big mismatch. Also, also think about what is the value proposition to those companies, because what you're explaining is valuable to the user, consumer. The Briggs & Stratton, for example, and I'm thinking of just the first one you mentioned, they may see it more valuable to sell a second lawnmower than extend the life of one they've already sold, because they don't get any money out of extending the life of one that's sold. So just something to consider, where's the value, who's willing to pay for that value?
And I don't necessarily agree with that, sir, just because I don't think you want to get head-to-head against them. And so if you can make them part of the solution, and maybe it's a licensing opportunity with them, then you're not competing with them. Because I think she's much more at risk not working with them and making this a solution that they can bring to their customers and make them part of the process than being perceived as a threat on the back end. You know, I hear what you're saying, but that's...
Call on Terry in the black shirt.
Some manufacturers say the value prop doesn't sell the single life of their products or, the last one.
You know what? Thank you for bringing that up. This gentleman's talking about the value proposition to the manufacturers like Briggs & Stratton. I think that there's a lot of, especially now, when people don't like something or dissatisfied, they have no problems complaining. And I think when a Briggs & Stratton engine or Stihl, or it doesn't matter who, their engine fails, the customer is automatically mad at the company. You know, this Briggs & Stratton's a piece of junk. I'm never buying Briggs & Stratton again. When it's not the engine, it's because they didn't use my product. So that's my sales opportunity to go to these engine companies and say, hey, look, you know, people don't like you because they think your engine failed, but it's not you. You're wonderful. You develop a great product. They failed to maintain it properly. I'm going to help you fix that problem. So I think that you'll get more loyal customers with each company. You know what? I want to get to you, but let me please address Terry. Terry, may I please get some thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think you guys are talking exactly where you want to go. And, you know,
Thank you,
get
sir.
into a licensing agreement, you already have people that are in production. What you really want, I mean, the best business model you can have is royalties. You don't have any royalties.
Right.
All you have is an envelope every week. And, you know, so that's the ideal situation. I think you'd rather go to Bosch or Champion, and they're selling spark plugs. And what you really want to do is license to those guys, and they're already building spark plugs. And what you have is a spark plug for the winter. And you market to them as this is a spark plug for the winter. It has directions, so when people buy the spark plugs, they got directions that say you need to have a spark plug for the winter. And their sales are always, you know, in the spring. Now you're bringing their sales forward. You have a marketing arm, you have a manufacturing arm, and you know they sell the spark plug for the spring and the winterization kit, and you license it to them, and you're home free. And now you have a relationship with them, and maybe you have your second idea already going.
That's excellent. As you can see, that wasn't part of my marketing plan, but I really value that, so thank you very much. Terry had said that I should consider going to the spark plug manufacturers such as Bosch and having them sell it as a winter plug, because basically that's what it is. So thank you for that. I'm definitely going to put that in my business model. Sir, you had a question. Yes, you did. You had your hand up.
I was going to ask, have you spoken with any organizations to this point? Because, of course, his idea is right on. But all you have to do is go to the motor manufacturers, go to them. You're going to have a bidding war for your product.
Well, thank you.
People are going to want it. And your cut's going to be a lot better than the big ones. A lot of people are going to put in.
Well, thank you very much. The gentleman in the front, his question was, have I spoken to some organizations yet? My answer is that no, I have not yet, because I want to have physical product for them to look at, to turn, and to see how it functions. Now, I originally started this design, what you see in the drawing, that's not my end product, because I've been working with some engineers, I've been working with some wonderful people with the IDSBC, Mott has helped me, and if you saw my thank you screen, there's been a whole lot of people involved in helping me make my modifications and get it improved already before I'm even in the market, so I have a better product to present, and here's why it does this. I'm very excited about that. Thank you.
People can sell themselves.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, we're wrapped up with our questions at this point. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
You highlighted the last screen. I want to give you just one more piece of advice that someone gave to me when I was pitching. If you bring in any slides with less than 20 font, I'm going to throw you out of my boardroom. So that's just something I will share with you. Don't use small font. But it was a great slide. You were thanking everybody. I appreciate that.
Well, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming today. That means a lot to me. I feel like I have your support, so thank you. Thanks, Mom.
All right, folks. So I want to, before everyone leaves, I'd like to pass around the microphone and just introduce everybody. Also, Kim has left a sheet for you to please fill out. And did you also have those grains?
She included my questions in here.
What about the grains that you wanted to? Yeah. So she's going to pass around. In part of her presentation, she talked about the size of some of this debris that can get into your engines. So she's going to pass that out so you can see it.
Explain what's in that. Kim, explain what's in that.
In the presentation, I mentioned the size of what you and I can see and what we can't see. This is salt. Salt is at 60 micrometers. You can't see less than 40. A typical person. And some of you might be able to see stuff.
So I'm going to start right up here in front with Mr. Ruff. Bill, can you identify yourself and your company?
My name is Bill Ruff with Applied Biomedical Technologies. We cure and reverse obstructive restrictive lung disease.
Thank you. Jim.
My name's Jim Diedlow. I own WJOB there, and I'm on the board here at the Commercialization Center.
Thank you.
Debbie Wargo. I'm the manager at WJOB and on the board for 1 Million Cups.
Thank you. Sir.
Dorwin Smith. This is my first time here. I was here to get some information and some input. I have an invention that I want to see out on the market. So I talked to this man a couple of weeks ago.
Talk to me first before you let any of these other people talk to you, okay? Mr. Rags?
My name is Jim Rags. I'm in the same position as that young man there. I have a product that I'm trying to bring to market.
And all you vultures, stay away from him. He's mine.
Terry Murphy, I'm one of the vultures.
John Myman.
Hi, I'm Eric Zoso, and I'm with Zosco co-working space in Valparaiso. It's fun.
I meant to introduce Lewis earlier. He's also with another incubator across the other border. So there is not a wall between our board.
Hi, I'm Louis Kinney Brew. I represent two companies, actually, Imaginatech, which is an engineering and product development firm, and Daju Proof Concept Funding, which is a firm that helps startups get funding for their concepts and their ideas.
Thank you.
I'm Jamaluddin Hussain, a professor at Purdue, but also looking for investment opportunities.
Great. We have some for you.
I'm Lori Felt with Small Business Development Center, not a vulture, just here to help.
I'm Dan Cadern. I'm a captain in the Indiana Army National Guard, and I'm a partner with Go Yodel, which is a startup that connects businesses and nonprofits and helps drive revenue for both.
Great. And I just want to point out that Dan just returned from Slovakia, and it looks like you're going to be heading overseas again soon, right?
Perhaps.
My name's Dennis Hunter, and I have an invention that God gave my mother, and I'm looking for a vulture.
Okay.
My name is Jagan Joe. I work for International Affairs Office at Purdue Northwest, and I hope that I bring more students to Purdue Northwest. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'm Bill Gregory, business advisor with the Small Business Development Center.
Welcome. Hi, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth Yothman. I'm with Planning Possibilities. It's a nonprofit, kind of just getting started in the area and just kind of looking for ideas and some guidance in the future.
Also, I think we just scheduled Planting Possibilities for November 16th to present. Our committee decided we'd have one nonprofit present every month, so we chose Planting Possibilities. And if you don't know what they do, they built a greenhouse at Compagna Academy in Schererville. They are teaching people with autism how to have careers in horticulture.
Ken Gonzalez. I also work for Indiana Small Business Development Center. I'm a founder of the South Lake Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I sit on the board here for 1 Million Cups.
Welcome, Ken.
Hi, my name is Janetta Dunmore, and I'm in the right place at the right time. So I'm looking to start a bakery, and I'm just here looking for resources, networking, and I've met Ken, and he's helping me out.
You got a good vulture on your hands.
Hi, I'm Mary Moreno. I presented here a couple weeks ago. I'm the owner of Race Rebel, and we offer a one-stop shop for local running event race directors.
Welcome back.
Hello, I'm Ben Davis. I'm Vice President of Technology at MIA Technologies, an industrial integrator down in Lafayette. We're here to meet with Mont to look at opportunities where we can partner with the center.
And we look forward to talking with you. Eric?
My name is Eric Parent, and I am the Vice President of Engineering at MIA Technologies, and I am accompanying Ben today.
Welcome. Thanks for driving up I-65.
Jim Sandrick. I'm morphing more towards alternative solutions for small businesses that no other advisor has access to.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. Everyone, thank you for coming today. I think we had a great presentation. Thank you very much, Kim. A few last-minute announcements. We are going to be running another intellectual property legal aid. If anybody knows anybody who's looking to do some trademarking or any kind of patenting, we have Hartman and Hartman Global IP coming in on the 9th, I believe, from 10 to noon here at CMEC. We're offering just some free advice to people. We won't be able to give you a patent or a trademark, but we'll give you a direction, a path on which to pursue it. So if you know of anybody, IPLA, Intellectual Property Legal Aid, on November 9th. We do have a couple of other folks scheduled through the 16th. Next week is a technology company. You can look on our website. I forgot their name right now. My apologies. Planting Possibilities is on the 16th. And we scheduled... Oh yeah, Dr. Jay Joshi is going to be here from Output Medical on the 9th. Jay has a new device. He was on the front cover of Crane Chicago Business a few months back. Just an amazing guy. They call him Doctorpreneur. So thank you for reminding me. All right. Well, thank you all again for coming. Please enjoy some coffee and chat. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you.